The first image in which you see here is that of a landing craft. Landing craft are boats and sea-going vessels used to convey a landing force, usually infantry or vehicles, from the sea to the shore during an amphibious assault. The invasion of the Normandy beaches was the high point of the landing craft, with a significant number of different designs produced in large quantities by both the United Kingdom and the United States. Because of the need to run up onto a suitable beach, World War II landing craft were flat-bottomed, and many designs had a flat front, often with a lowerable ramp rather than a normal bow. This made them difficult to control, very uncomfortable in rough seas. The control point was normally at the extreme rear of the vessel, as were the engines. In all cases, they were known by abbreviation. The next picture that you see here is that of the Czech Hedgehog. This was a static anti-tank obstacle defense made of angled iron. The Hedgehog is very effective in keeping tanks from getting through a line of defense. It maintains its function even when tipped over by a nearby explosion. Although it may provide some cover for infantry, infantry forces are generally much less effective against fortified defensive positions than mechanized units. The next image that you see here is that of bunkers. Bunkers were used on D-Day by the Axis forces to keep a line of fire down on the beach while keeping themselves in protective cover. The heavy fortification and use of bunkers by the Axis forces is a large reason why the Allies lost so many men. The Germans also installed machine gun nests in the bunkers, which could lay down a consistent line of fire while not having to worry about being hit. The machine gun nests were said to have been firing so quickly that when soldiers rolled up, it sounded like it was just paper being torn. The next images that you see here are those of battleships. Battleships were used for support during the invasion. Battleships sat further out to sea and would launch artillery rounds up at the beach, trying to hit the heavily fortified bunkers and at least weaken them or kill the men inside. However, during the first wave of the invasion, the battleships were still getting into position and weren't able to provide cover fire, so many of the men in the first wave lost their life due to this. The next images that you see here are those of barrage balloons. A barrage balloon is a large balloon tethered with metal cables used to defend against low-level aircraft attack by damaging the aircraft on collision with the cables, or at least making the attacker's approach more difficult. Some versions carried small explosive charges that would be pulled up against the aircraft to ensure its destruction. Barrage balloons were regularly employed only against low-flying aircraft. The weight of longer cable would make them impractical for higher altitudes. And if you look at this final photograph, you'll see all of these elements coming to work together into one. The barrage balloons to prevent low-level aircraft attacks, the landing craft bringing in infantry and vehicles, and